Washington hardpoint. But as part of that assistance, you had to pursue out of said Washington hardpoint a group of Adinos led by an Adinos priestess called Malacrix. They apparently had stolen something from the Smithsonian Museum, something large, black, rocky. At least one witness referred to it as something they called the Godbox. What it does, you still do not yet know. But you pursued them across the living land environs around Washington, through a creepy dim thread tree into the land below, the lost land of Meretica, where you got involved in some local politics and uprisings. But then, to summarize what happened there, you got through, and most recently you have left through a native device called the Ohibi Temple, and arrived where you are now. Now, the one thing is that the travel felt different. The travel this time than it did when you went through the creepy tree. There was none of the feeling of the void, or that there was something out there in the darkness looking for you. It was quite a pleasant process, and you found yourselves where you are now. Stepping through the portal and emerging onto a platform overlooking a Great Lake. In fact, it looked like a Great Lake, capital G, capital L. At first, you thought you were in a building, but after a quick look, you're obviously on the ruined wall of a large ship, perhaps an ore hauler or an oil tanker. You're standing on the back wall of the pilot's cabin, looking out the side window onto a massive blue-green lake. There's a good chance it's Lake Michigan, because you're standing on a large chart mounted on the wall that you're standing on that says Lake Michigan Shipping Lane. Perhaps more interesting are the very clear Adinos claw marks torn into the paper, and a syringe stuck in one of the corkboards. Billy's breadcrumbs continue to form a trail for you. The door is on the roof, given the orientation of the cabin, but the windows on both sides of the pilot house have been smashed, allowing simple and easy egress. From the look of the sun outside, it's just beginning to set, its rays casting beams through the broken windows, and also as you look out you can see what appears to be a significantly large number of other wrecked vessels stretching out into the dusk, misty distance. And that is where we left it last week. What are you doing?
I'm gonna investigate the syringe.
It looks like, give us a find roll.
There was new systems, a bit tricky. Yeah,
it's not a problem. It definitely does look like one of the syringes that you saw Billy Hotshots, the medic from Fort Washington, who is one of the handful of individuals that have been or were taken by Malacrix's warband. He had a couple of sort of converted tranquilizer guns, and it would seem that this is one of said tranquilizers from those tranquilizer guns. So he's obviously continuing to leave a trail for you. With a 15, that in combination with lots of stuff around you, you think they can't have been here much more than a day ago, possibly less.
Is there anything in the syringe?
There's a clear liquid. So it's not discharged because he's obviously fired it into a corkboard. So yeah, he hasn't been able to.
By that somehow, maybe with medicine.
There's a medicine check. There might be some symbols on the outside of the syringe.
It was medicine. No. It has been added to that.
If it hasn't, then you can just use under the skills section where it says test or unskilled. You can just fill in the value and use those. And as your medicine is... Oh, you should have it. You should have it. We can add it on to the front later. So yeah, just put a 13 under test and click the TORG roll. Yeah, you can look. It looks to be the standard issue tranquilizer that he has tended to use in his ammunition.
Right, I'll take it.
You do indeed take it.
Did someone check the radio? Because I remember last week we were discussing the radio.
Nobody has checked the radio to my knowledge yet.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna check it. Just give me a what was it, syringe?
You've got medicine on your character now. It should work. Yep. Luckily, I rolled the one, not you.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I never roll ones.
Don't say it. It's
I
temptation.
mean, looking around the cabin, what's here looks to be in relatively bad repair, but any of the technologically inclined, so that's Theo, Ryoko, or Dr. Dick, are able to relatively easily identify what you think would be the ship-to-shore radio. Doesn't look in particularly good shape.
Right. Which of you nincompoops could help me? You know, I'm not saying I need help, but you know, it's always, you know, just in case. Is it a science check or what skill?
Anything appropriate. Science would help. If you had profession mechanic, that would also help. Anything along those lines.
I like it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have one for the assistance you're getting from.
There are no
Father.
electricians in the Bible, right? So.
Well, there might be in Theo's version of the Bible.
Yeah, because he's a techno.
Because I've been, only the bits that he doesn't want to read, because he probably has a copy of the Melrose Bible in there. But if I tell you that in Magna Verita, they had the printing press in the 13th century and automobiles in the 15th century, that will explain to you why they're more technologically advanced than we are. But their world is flat.
Get more technically advanced if your world is flat. Interesting. Mine's is a weird shippy thing.
Plus, there's no America, there's no China, there's no Australia, because literally they're the confines of Magna Verita, which is the cyber papacy homeworld, are literally accurate to medieval maps.
No man, probably.
Also, don't have to plot things like the days of the week and how the stars go around each other and how you travel around the sun and all those complications to do with space. They wouldn't need to do any of that.
Yeah, you don't worry about that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot simpler.
To other things, or their thoughts to other things.
So, Dr. Dick, with some application of the tools that you have at your disposal, you've been slowly working yourself into a slightly better toolkit. You managed to pop the cover off of one area of the radio. Looking into it is massively corroded. I mean, not just the moisture from the lake, but it would seem that there is a significant amount of accelerated decay. But you take about 10-15 minutes and you manage to cannibalize enough uncorroded materials, and you spend that time doing a proper jury rig job, realigning some bits and pieces, replacing cables, finding some bits where it's not as badly broken and beaten as the other bits. And after about 15-20 minutes of this, You manage to get a charge from somewhere, possibly, I don't know, maybe some of Ryoko's armor can give you a charge, or something that Father Theo has on him that would seem to be innocuous, but has probably got the mobile phone charge equivalent of something that could last like 48 days without worrying about recharging. It's the benefit of having slightly higher tech. Just give me a D20 roll, Dr. Dick, as this is requiring lots of things that are above and beyond your personal axioms and the local axioms to make this work. Just roll a D20.
Didn't I?
Yeah, Dr. Dick, just roll a D20.
It didn't register, apparently.
Okay. Wasn't a 1 to 4 the first time, was it? Good. So the radio hisses into life. You're able to just quickly dial in what you know is a frequency that the Delphi Council have told you that they will monitor in regular opportunities. And what do you say?
Coming, Delphi Council, coming, Delphi Council, over.
You try again, you try a few times, and on the fourth or fifth attempt, you actually get quite a grainy, static-ridden response.
Yeah. To you too.
So you report in very short order. The individual taking your details identifies you, and you are put on to your contact in the Delphi Council, Lieutenant Castile, Mindy, who seems to be quite happy to hear you. It's like, oh, Dr. Sanders, it's great to hear your voice. Where the hell have you guys been?
I don't know. Some weird parallel dimension on underground something. I don't know.
Where are you now?
Lake Michigan by the looks of it.
Wow. So they were right then. Oh, well, they'll be pleased to hear that. So do you need anything?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Durak.
Yep.
Putting his hand out to the thing. Durak puts his hand out, and you hand him and explain to him what to do and how to do it.
I play my card.
Okay, he plays the Delphi drop.
And you know what I want. I don't know how this works, by the way. I don't know if you get what you request.
Ask away. You need to...
Okay, I need a rune maker. Toolkit, please.
That's Sergeant Blackaxe.
Is that who, sorry?
Sergeant Blackaxe.
Am I a sergeant now?
I thought you were. What were you before? Captain? I can't remember. What were you?
I don't even know if I had a title. I honestly can't remember.
Well, let's call you Sergeant for now. But yeah, Mindy asked you to identify yourself. I'm assuming you do.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, of course. You hear somebody mumbling in the background. Yeah, I know. I'm getting to that. I'll tell them. You should find. Well, okay. Hermes Division were apparently forewarned of your request. Just outside the. Are they in the pilot's cabin? Yeah, just outside the pilot's cabin that you're in. You should find a Delphi Council cache. And you go, okay. You put it down. You clamber out, and you see that yes, by all means, on the quite securely tethered to the side of the pilot house is indeed a sturdy-looking crate made of a material you don't know, Durak.
Convenient.
Sorry, you were breaking up there, Badger. You weren't hearing you properly.
That's questionably convenient.
Yeah, apparently Dr. Zetalius has left you a note inside the crate, Dr. Sanders. In fact, as part of the requirement, we had notes and equipment for each of you. If you like, just one thing, where have you been for the last 3 weeks?
What? 3 weeks? Has it been that long?
Well, not according to your calculations, Dr. Sanders. According to your recollection, you left Washington on the 26th of August. You spent maybe 6 or 7 days within the land below, but Mindy basically says, yeah, today's the 13th of August.
Well, weird. Because we've only been in Brown, 6, 7 days.
Oh, okay, I'm sure I want to talk to you about that, but is there anything else you need? We put a full reload of ammunition, and as I said, the aforementioned. I'll let the doctor explain it. Apparently, it's in his letter.
Yeah, well, presuming we find what we're looking for in the area, it will be pretty neat to get some sort of extraction.
Okay, we'll get somebody on.
Point.
We'll get somebody on standby for the situation in Chicago then. Okay, Durac, you open the chest. There is indeed a couple of crates of ammunition, 2 reloads, enough for everyone that has guns. There does also appear to be replacement spikes for your own items, Durac. There is a neat pine box with some dwarf runes on it, which you open, and it is indeed a quite good condition runic engraving kit. There are also 6 individual what look like diplomatic packages, each one with one of your names on.
Take mine.
So basically, you said I need some stuff, and they went, "Yeah, it's like there behind you."
Yes,
It's pretty impressive.
yes, I'm suspicious too, but I'm not saying anything.
I'm scanning the diplomatic package for something with the word immunity on it.
No, it doesn't have immunity, but you do. There is one which says Dr. Richard Sanders on it. There is one that says, or has Durac. In fact, it's in Dwarven runes. Durac, your one.
Oh.
You open it up. In fact, yours had the pine box was in there. But in addition to the pine box, do you want me to share these globally or individually?
Is there something in it where we don't want other people to know?
Well,
My
in yours,
God.
Durac, there is that.
I hate you.
If your ability to read Dwarven runes has degraded over the years, I have a version of it in English.
Oh, it is dead at the minute. Wait a minute.
All right, hang on a second.
Could probably, if I could Photoshop it, I'll go track down my multiple pieces of paper with runes in it somewhere in this room, which I'll have to find. I probably could translate.
So it was captain, not sergeant. I remember.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Okay, that's the one that you find. Abram, yours has that in it, and it also has a curled lock of hazel brown hair, lovingly wrapped and tied off with some lavender ribbon. First thing that falls out of your one, Dr. Sanders, is actually in bubble wrap, But when you take it out of bubble wrap, you see that. And it is accompanied by that letter. Why can't I find... Hang on. I can't find Theo's one for some reason.
Seems the English version's got an extra line at the bottom. It's not in the runic version.
Maybe I didn't replace the picture. But the bit at the bottom of the runic version is one of the war cries of your clan.
Okay.
It's actually the only bit that's still in Dwarven. Do you want to know what that means?
Oh, yep.
Well, obviously the third word is the place that you're... Oh, by the way, the name, Dolver Blackaxe, is your father.
Okay. You must have read this up somewhere, because I don't remember this stuff.
No, this is not necessarily anything we've spoken about, but things occur in the background, whether you're engaged, involved, or
I mean, the
working
captain
or
thing,
not.
I don't remember.
I think it's when we first mentioned it when you were speaking with Pelar Ardenay and Tolwyn of House Tancred. Give me a second, Skell. You've got one as well. Or just for some reason it's not showing up in the same bit.
Nice.
Come on, where you gone?
It's this bit say kill the priest, he's a heretic, right? What's that mean?
Tectonic activity, death cult. Blah, blah, blah,
Right, I found it. Now I need to get it into... Come on, where you gone? Why won't it show me the bloody things?
Can Ryoku read?
Oh, sorry, I've got to describe Ryoku's, because out of Ryoku's one falls, instead of a document, there's a small, like a USB drive.
All right.
And just let me find the right bit for... Come on, images, folder.
Precogs, good.
Can I plug it into my armor? And
That is, you are indeed expected to plug it into your armor. Right, come on, where you gone? It keeps closing the bit I had. Right, other one. Go to there. Gotcha. Gotcha. Minimize that. Theo's one. Okay, Theo, you've got your one as well. So while everyone else is reading theirs, Ryoko, you plug your one in. There is a brief, maybe second and a half delay when whatever display screen that your armor uses, possibly it's projected on sort of an eye reticule on your armor, is filled with a very bubbly, bouncy looking face of it. You're Japanese, aren't you? Your character, you're not South Korean or Chinese, you're Japanese, aren't you?
Japanese.
Yeah. The very bubbly face of your younger sister. Now, I'm not going to attempt to do the sort of impression here, but she is always happy, always hyper, and essentially she's giving you a message from home telling you everything's fine, it's all great. She tells you about a boy that she's got a crush on at school, how she's doing really well with her studies, father's doing fine, they are working him quite hard at the new corporation that he signed up for, but everything is good. She asks how you are. She realizes you can't tell her anything back. Even with this, she's got like a huge grin on her face because she talks about the fact that I understand that you're a rebel now. Mother still hasn't forgiven you, but you're okay with me. And she does like sort of like the Weibo sort of like Ashane or whatever. She is literally, she's like a 15, 16-year-old Japanese schoolgirl, and she is bouncy as everything. But it's nice to get some information of some kind from home.
All right, with all the shenanigans going on in Japan, do I read anything out of the normal in this message?
Give us the be a find or some kind of intuition if you've got something like that.
Like this works for a new corporation, and Yeah, let's see. Everything is awesome at home.
Yeah, everything seems awesome. There might be, I mean, this is a recording. You can take your time to look at it later. But she seems fine. She's asked after you, told you about the rest of the family. I mean, she's your only sibling. You don't have like a hidden brother that she's decided not to tell you anything about. One of the main reasons it's quite difficult is because as she's talking to you, this has obviously been made with whatever the most recent version of WhatsApp or that sort of thing, because little birds float out of her eyes. She's got sort of digital rabbit ears coming off of her head while she's talking to you. Bits of her face change shape, sort of like to emphasize the eyes, and you've got all of that going on at the same time. So anything in the background is a little bit hard to check anyway. Has anybody got any questions about anything else they've received, or if they would like to share with the group what they've just received? Or, I mean, everybody saw the photo frame that fell out of Dr. Sanders' one. It's up to him whether you got an opportunity to see what it was a photo of, though.
Yeah, I'm sticking that in my some pocket. How big is the photo frame?
It's a sort of not huge. It's like a 3x5.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to be banging a rune out. It doesn't really say how long it takes to make these, by the way. It only tells you in combat it takes one action. Out of combat, it doesn't say anything. Unless it's in another book, I didn't see it.
Nah, it's about right.
Okay, I will do my...
You take some time out of combat.
I have to cast
do
a
it.
spell now, so I'm going to do my dice roll. There it is.
There is also one for Dr. Hemlock.
And for his spiders as well.
No,
Did
just
not
for
add
him.
my mind. Did it that? No, I don't know.
You only rolled Dieter. Yeah, no, it didn't. Why have you not added your mind to it? Is it not set up properly on your sheet? Hang on. Do language dwarf runes, yeah?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't got your mind included. Give me a second. Yeah, if you roll it now, it'll do it.
Let's just take that roll and add the...
Yeah, you can do. Just add your mind to it.
Because I don't want to give all game. Right, so +7 is 12.
Yep, that's good enough. You've only got DC 10 on your stuff.
I'm gonna take a picture of the picture I got on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna take it out of the frame and I'm gonna curl it up and put it in my pocket.
Okay, cool.
How did mine arrive? Was it electronic or?
No, it was quite a high quality vellum parchment. It has I mean, not that you've seen it before, but it had a wax seal of the appropriate authority within it, and it mentions that your identity papers or whatever are in there, and there was a small sort of like black leatherette wallet that you flip open, and there is indeed, with your face on, a very official, with the appropriate seals on it, identification with your associated rank on it.
That's so cool. Yeah, very good. I'll put that safe.
In addition, there is a map folded into the top of the drop, which has a world map with some indications of the current state of the invasion on it. Unless one of you kept reference from before, you haven't got anything immediately to hand to give you any indications of what has or hasn't changed. But anyone with the scholar skill can make a scholar roll now. It's only DC 10 to see if you pick up on any particulars.
What are we looking at? Sorry?
Scholar, if you've got it.
Nearly.
Color, but I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, okay.
Okay, the main things you pick up, nobody got a good success, but Durac and Dr. Dick both got standards. The living land zone in the east of America has obviously expanded somewhat in the middle section out towards Missouri, but not yet containing Missouri. And the chunks of the invasion zone within the Gulf of Mexico have definitely expanded.
Missouri's way west. I think. No. Where's Missouri?
Is the MO.
Yes, it's
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, I thought we were talking about the other one.
Yeah, towards, but hasn't taken it. But the zones that were previously north of Guatemala was previously a standalone zone of the living land. It has connected up, but also Florida and Cuba have been overtaken, it would seem, as well. Other changes, the suspected invasion in the green zone to the east in Pan Pacifica would have seemed to have expanded slightly further west towards China and down towards Thailand a little bit.
totally packed, that one.
Yes.
So little zones.
And the other bit of note, Abram, you're not certain, but you inquire, and the Dr. Sanders confirms. No, the black zone in India hasn't moved around. It's not changed shape at all. Yeah, you're able to get the other runes out while you're waiting. But the one thing that you do query, and he does confirm, is that there's no key on this one, but there are more, let's say, very pale grey zones than there were before. So you went through India when you came through, so you happen to know that each of the three very, very pale zones, if I just sync up the client view.
Looks like they've been. Those pale zones.
Okay. So the ones over to the west for Pakistan, if the Delphi Council information is correct, they represent the not so pale grey zones, represent areas where core Earth has not yet been entirely subsumed. Okay, so the dark grey zones are what they call dominant regions. We've discussed these before. The really almost transparent zones are pure regions. Very well done on your rolling there, Derek.
I use a drama card to get the second roll to pass.
Okay. What that means, you're not entirely certain, but you are certain of one thing. Abram, you came over on one of the Maelstrom bridges. The occult structures that link your homeworld of Gaia to core Earth. It was the one in the west, the central west triangle, because you came through into the city of Mumbai, and that is where the Maelstrom Bridge landed, and it's also where a majority of the Victorian troops have come down. There was also in the eastern set of three, the central one has the Indian city of Calcutta, and that's where one of the other Maelstrom bridges came down. And the third Maelstrom bridge came down in the midst of that central triangle of the four in the center of India. So it would seem that your enemy, the Gaunt Man, has not expanded in any way in the past time that you've been active, but something is going on. It would seem the Aurorsh reality is, at least in the center, is becoming stronger. Does everyone remember what happens in a pure zone? Yeah, basically, you guys can still attempt to do things that are against the local reality, but ordinary people, ords, lose the ability. They cannot create disconnections, contradictions at all. So
I will puzzle over that as in my, write notes in my book, wondering what's he up to. He's always
what
got
we'll do is we'll share Dr. Hemlock's one, because he isn't here, just so everyone can see the sort of things that have gone, and I'll read this one out. And I'm going to read this one out because his friend, we have decided, in this one, sounds like Sean Connery. My good friend, I sincerely hope that this message finds you well. The day-to-day work at the Academy keeps me busy night and steadily darkening day. I have unfortunate news. Your request to join the ranks of the Academy and to have your work in the fields of mechanics and automata archived within the Academy libraries has been rejected. I am unfortunately not privy to the voting processes of the Controlling Council, but I do overhear talk within the salons and the bars. As I see it, at this time, there are two main impediments to your application being accepted. The first is your continuing insistence to, how did you put it the last time we spoke, on the subject, go it alone. This desire to prove yourself without any outside agency does not work in your favor. The Academy is, and I risk my own membership by putting this to page, as confoundedly embroiled in the machinations of society and privilege as the rest of our stagnant culture. Even if this were not the case, and you were able to rise to the merits of your work alone, then you are hobbled by the second circumstance. Despite the detailed and exhaustive instruction that you have provided, not a single fellow of the Academy has been able to replicate even the simplest of your proofs. As you know, without a fuller understanding of the principles in use, it is unlikely they will see it upon themselves to place you within their hallowed numbers. I have heard Dr. Mortimer and Professors Fenway and Gladstone each speaking vocally out against your research in public, but in quiet, more private conversations, it seems that Professor Gladstone is more open to conversation. He has been trying his hardest to replicate your work, and has approached me on more than one occasion to put you in touch with him. I simply await your instructions to do so. Hurry back, there's a decanter of Father's finest Scotch waiting for you. Your lifelong friend, Dr. Gloucester Mackintosh.
What's that Phoenix badge or stump or?
You have no idea. You've never seen anything like it before. You've got scholar. You are aware of the Royal Academy of Science and the Arts. It is the premier group that vet and review any advances in the sciences, and membership is generally seen as a success in your stepping stone of your scientific career. It's not something you have pursued despite your own studies, because Abram's life took him in a more action-oriented direction.
Yep.
What have you done with the photo?
Me?
Yeah.
It's tucked inside me jerkin with the other hair part. Lock of hair.
Okay.
Literally close to my heart as it can be.
Okay.
Oh, inside your heart. That's terrible.
It's close to his heart.
Oh,
So you're still in the pilot house of a vessel that appears to be significantly upended. Work it out in your brain how you want to see it, but as we said, you're currently standing on the back wall of the pilot house.
I suppose we're gonna find a way out of here.
I don't know what's happening with your mic, Badger, but you keep starting out really quiet and then coming in. So
Wait, is that still?
no, that's sounding okay right now. We'll keep an eye on it just in case, and I'll let you know if it's if it's sounding any less open.
Right. It may seem to be that I start talking when I'm further away from the microphone, and then move towards it. Right. Anyway, yeah. Let's find a way out of here. I'm guessing
Rowing?
down.
We're in the middle of a lake, aren't we?
You are indeed in the middle of the lake, but as you draw your attention to the outside, you can see that this ship is not alone in being in the middle of a lake. In fact, where it is currently upended, you can look down the precariously precipitous planks downwards, and you can see that there are other boats equally beached in various different stages and orientations, and maybe about 80 or 90 feet down, you can see that this one intersects with another one which appears to be somewhat more level. And you crane your neck out and you can see in both directions, both east and west, almost a sort of a beached flotilla, a bridge, if you will, made of wrecked vessels.
Which way does the bridge go? Does it go both directions?
It goes both east and west.
So
Which way do we want to go, guys?
it looks like they've not crashed here. They've basically been made into a bridge.
Well, it's a bit hard to say at this point. Some would appear to have crashed, others, I mean, you haven't encountered them yet, but others would appear to have been more purposefully manoeuvred or in some way, shape or form manoeuvred.
I see. Okay.
Well,
Probably
assuming we were
dinosaurs.
kind of following the tracks of the guy. Are we not doing that? I don't know. Well, I thought they were following someone.
You are? Well, that is your intent.
Let's
Yeah,
follow
I
that guy.
I just can't remember who.
I was too busy making runes. I don't know what was going on.
Well, you can still, all you've done within here at the moment is look at your own stuff and fix the radio, which has subsequently broken again. It was only a temporary jury rig. You can see some evidence. I mean, the map on the floor shows clear signs of claws. Whether those were enraged claws or simply raked as they walked, you can see if you can determine. That would be a fine check or tracking for anyone that's got it.
Is it find or tracking, or can it be both?
Nope. It's primarily tracking.
Have the tracking skill?
A couple of you do.
Got it.
Seeing as it's based on mind, Dr. Dick did put a point in it. It can be tried unskilled as well by anybody. It just means you roll off the unskilled instead if you haven't got it listed on your sheet already.
I thought it was an advanced skill.
No.
Didn't even find the scars.
So, Dr. Sanders and Theo, as you're both looking around, in the immediate environs around the pilot house, you're able to sort of clamber around. There's lots of cleats and whatever on the deck, and lots of quite sturdy, because it's quite well built, railings. You find some evidence that clearly they have moved down the boat towards where it intersects with whichever vessel it is going left and right. You can't really tell from this point. The one thing you do see when you come out of the pilot house is you can see the name of the vessel you're currently on, the Manitou, clearly emblazoned on the outside of the wheelhouse.
Why do you laugh, Theo?
I don't know
Reference to
whether
Deadlands.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's actually a Shane Lacey Hensley out of character thing, probably, but anyway.
You managed to, with tracking, you managed to scout out the easiest descent. The whole ship is probably, because you've got to come out of the pilot house and then go back down and around. But the whole ship is possibly at about a 60-degree angle poking up out of the water. So can everybody give me a climb check? It's only going to be DC 8s at this point.
There is no climb in my...
Then it is your dexterity or any other appropriate skill. In fact, strength normally. It's normally only dex if you've got climbing gear. But we'll say that the cleats and everything else are appropriately enabling you to use dexterity instead of strength if you wish to.
My strength's massive compared to my dex.
Okay, so it looks like Abram, Durak, and Dr. Dick are all fine. For whatever reason, Ryoko and Theo, however, are unable to keep their footing. Ryoko goes first, and we'll say that Theo probably leapt to try and grab her and goes tumbling down with her. You both take 2 shock from tumbling down. It's not bad wounds. It's just you bounce a couple of times on some sort of wedged crates on the way down, and once you hit the level where the ship intersects with another one, the water of the lake is starting to, shall we say, have some engagement at this level. So there's a bit of splashing, and only really your pride is overly damaged as you get down. But you can see at this point, you could go west or east, both of which involve making your way onto the deck of another ship, the Mickey Jones, sorry. Appears to have been jammed into, and it is tangled with the Manitou. At this level, sort of the groaning of metal on metal being pushed and pulled by the wind and waves is an eerie and jarring noise.
Isn't he a monkey?
Davy Jones
Going out of the way.
of the Locker fame was also the monkey. Mickey Dolan's. You can see on a section of deck that is not yet claimed by the waves, because you've got the better tracking roll, Dr. Dick, you can see there are several faint spatters of blood coating the deck a short way from where you go down, and they are off to the west side of the remnants of the Manitou's deck.
Looks like someone's been bleeding over here.
Give us an evidence analysis roll.
People tend not to bleed without reason, so I suspect, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, it's a good standard success. As you're investigating the blood, you look at what you thought was some kind of like deck implement, which is off about 20 feet away on the deck of the Mickey Jones. And you suddenly, a wave washes over it, and you, as your eyes readjust, you resolve it. It looks like a scattered remnant of a tail of some kind. You jump down onto the other boat's deck and investigate, and while the water's washed a lot of the elements away, you can see there's evidence that it was sort of like blood encrusted on it. And with your own experience within the living land, this degree of decay may not have taken even a day or two.
Yeah, they've been through it recently. I think should probably be able to find some more tracks further down this way.
Okay, that sounds promising.
Shouldn't take too long to get down a ship, would it?
No, but I mean, at this level, you can look ahead of yourselves and you can see that it looks like a sort of a mishmashed highway of various different boats, sometimes 2 or 3 wide. So it's not sort of a single width boat bridge all the way along, but you can clearly see it disappearing ahead into the mist, rising in the late night air over the lake.
Oh, it's night. I didn't know.
Let's press on. Just make sure we don't. We have solid surfaces to stand on. I don't want to fall in the water.
Are you afraid of the water?
Well, if you've got armor like mine, yeah.
It does look quite. I said it was bluey green, but it's almost gone down to an inky black as the daylight has, or the last remnants of the daylight as you were carving runes and investigating bits and pieces, as the last remnants of the daylight have faded.
And we also remember seeing them big dinosaurs under the water earlier when we were in that closet.
Yes, you do. You saw at least one mosasaur, and the Palalaiosaurus, I think, was the other one when you were back down in Washington. But if anyone asks, or if Durek, if you mention this, somebody probably points out, well, Chicago's a lot further north. But despite
dinosaurs, so you have nothing to worry about.
There is that Loch Ness monster thing I heard about yonks ago.
Yeah, you might have heard about Loch Ness being in England.
Definitely not in Lake Michigan, surely, unless it's all connected underground. Anyway.
Who knows these days? It might be the case. But the one thing, any of you that are even remotely American, so in that case, Dr. Sanders probably being it, again with your scholar role, Dr. Sanders, you're noting that the humidity and the heat is already significantly higher than you would expect to have found in the local area.
Yeah, looks like this ain't no Midwestern Great Lakesy temperature we got here.
And in fact, let me just double check the map. The one thing that you also note periodically breaking the silence, because you're currently there. Yeah, you can hear from probably further away than you can see to the north. You can hear the sounds of storm.
Of storm?
Storms, yes.
Oh, storms, right, okay.
Thunder, lightning, although possibly not a natural storm when you refer.
Oh, that's so good. Looks like we should find ourselves some shelter, eh?
Well, we're in the middle of
we're
in the middle of a lake on little ships that don't look too stable. I don't think we're going to hide in the ship. I think we get on land.
They're also kind of conductive and we're high up, and you're a dwarf. Can you dig us a hole
into the water?
No. Well, once we get to solid ground, obviously. But
oh, right, yeah, I can do that.
What's the biggest hole you can dig in with your bare hands?
About enough to put your foot in it.
You do a couple of the usual tests, empirical tests, Dr. Sanders. The first time you see a flash of lightning a lot further away than maybe you ought to be able to, and then you hear the peal of thunder that follows it. You do the whole 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 count. The storm you think you're seeing is quite a far distance away, but you would assume, after referring to the map, that it's the reality storm at the boundary just south of Milwaukee. So, unless there's some actual rainstorms going around out there, you don't think you've got any worry about the weather changing on you yet, but who knows these days? Things do change at a moment's notice. You spend about, or just shy of an hour, picking your way slowly westward. Different boats, all quite large, sometimes a 40-foot fishing trawler. Other times you're finding yourself picking your way over a completely capsized, massive sort of cargo super tanker. At the end of that hour, you're finding yourself on the wreck of a ship called the Howard Phillips. It appears to have been breached, as this is beached much lower on the lake bottom, and you can see the waves from Lake Michigan regularly breaching over the side of the deck, and the deck is awash with water. As you're pressing forward, crossing up to your knees in water at various points, can everybody please make find checks?
Who wants to play Dino Attack?
Not my day.
Sometimes this act.
You find something. Yeah, it's only possible. But you don't usually mishap on a find, though, with a 2.
Abram's too distracted with the letter. Right.
Come on, who
Who
plays the Dino card?
succeeded? Okay, give me 2 minutes, guys. Back in a sec.
Does Abraham wear armor or leather? When I
Armor.
say like plate stuff, so you could have put your foot in the water. It goes squelchy, squelch, squelch, squelch.
Mine's toughened hide, monster hide armor sort of thing.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
It's in between the two.
I can't remember wearing hide. I know I did do it when I was younger, but I can't remember it.
So, should I play my Dino Attack card?
Yeah, yeah, play it right now. That's all. Play all of us
Wow.
play our cards right now.
I'm not going to disconnect.
Right, I'm back.
If
Okay. Who got the successes? Theo and Dr. Dick. Everyone else is a bit oblivious. As you're making your way across the deck of the Howard Jones, you've been getting quite used to Howard Phillips, sorry. Howard Jones against another musician. You've been getting quite used to the sounds around here. So you've been hearing the splashing, the groaning, the creaking, all of that going on. However, a couple of times, okay, Dr. Dick got a 26, Theo, so you both got good successes. You both hear scratching, scraping on the underside of the deck beneath your feet. You both also pick up the occasional flurry of rushing water, as if someone or something was swimming beneath the hull.
Yeah, I heard something. Can I tell anything about what it was from the?
My advice is shh.
Numerous. That's all you can work out. Numerous.
Dinosaur,
There's many of them, but I don't know many of what.
dinosaur piranha.
You're right. I mean, the one thing to let you know, the Howard Phillips is you're heading west, and the deck of the Phillips is on a not a major incline, but it's maybe going up sort of like a 1 in 5 incline. You've just passed underneath two great big cargo cranes, which are still mostly intact, and you can see ahead, maybe about 20 or 25 meters up towards further up the boat, you can see the 3 or 4 story crew quarters and pilot house ahead of you. Gojira. Are you continuing forwards?
Oh yeah. I might want to get off the sloping ship.
Right then. What is your... It doesn't matter what your marching order is. Can everybody please give me a challenging, so that's at -2, dexterity test?
John, what kind of ship was the ship we were on? The named one?
The one you're on now,
Yeah,
the Howard Phillip, it's a cargo tanker.
cargo tank.
You'll see it in a minute.
What's the target? What's challenging's target?
Essentially, just go for it, say, rather than worrying about subtracting from. I know you've subtracted, so it's still a 10, but you've got a -2. So Theo has failed.
I'm going to use my
Durak has
adrenaline
failed.
card.
Ryoko seems not to be able to do anything today.
Did you hear that?
Go ahead. You're going to use what?
My adrenaline card to pass.
Okay, so that gives you a standard success. So far, you're the only person that has succeeded.
I'm gonna spend the possibility, I think.
Okay, so far, Durak has succeeded. Theo is spending a possibility. Dr. Dick is spending a possibility.
I'm spending my drama card. Is it possible from the
That's
hand?
the same, yeah. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Oh, worse.
I should have.
So if you're using the bit on the card, you put your stat in the first box and the previous number you have rolled in the second box.
Can I do nothing with that one?
It's a critical failure, so unfortunately, unless you've got a second chance card,
I do, so there's nothing else I can do other than play
second
this.
chance is all you can do.
I will play that then.
Okay, then you get to roll again entirely.
Oh. Surely.
Go on.
Ryoko got a standard success with her possibility expenditure.
Jeez.
Actually, yeah, because it was a 4. Yeah, because it's only a bonus number of 2. Abram barely gets one as well. Right then. First is your stat, and then the second is what you've rolled on the dice so far. Well, you can decide if you go for... I would put the -2 in the stat. So Dex -2 in that first box. And then 16 in the second box. So it should have been 27. Fine. So that's only a standard success still. But it is better than nothing. Right. I will share a map. Okay, so this is the full length of the Howard Phillip. You were basically heading towards the west side. As you got onto the area that looks like a big hole in the deck, the floor fell out from under you. Now, what this means is the following. If you just got a success, you fall in, but you manage to catch yourself on the rim. So who only got a standard success? Just getting a 10.
Me.
Me.
Right, hopefully we're going to zoom in a bit.
Would have been so much better if it had been strange, but sticks. But hopefully next time I'll be.
So Abram, you're on the rim there. So who was after Abram?
Me.
Ryoko got one as well. So Durak, you got just, didn't you?
Yeah, plus
With an
3
11.
onto my thing. Yeah. Can't even find my dice roll anymore. There it is, 11.
Ryoko, you got a standard as well, I believe.
Standard, yes.
I seem unable to actually get these to go on the squares the first time. Theo, yours was 1 away from being a good success. Just to let you know, in case you want to do something about it. On a good success, you leap back and you're not hanging off. You're stood on the right-hand side. Dr. Dick, you can choose which side you ended up. Either you darted forwards and end up on the west side, or you jumped back and stayed on the east side. It's up to you. Which do you want?
Where would there be the most people? Because I don't want to be. Well, I'd rather
Okay.
not be alone.
So you'd like to be on this side. And Father Theo, are you happy to be hanging by your fingertips over the abyss, or do you want to be?
I wouldn't say happy is
You
the
know
word.
what? I want
but-
to be on the other side. Just because it seems difficult to get across it.
I'll allow you to change your mind in a minute if you want. Theo, what are you gonna stick with your 14?
I don't think you can do anything about it. So yeah.
Yeah, unless you've got cards and the like, so you're hanging off right. So we'll keep you like that. Fine. Like that. Okay. And as if that wasn't bad enough, a little bit of chaos breaks out. Wait for the combat tracker to update.
Are you sure you want to be over there by yourself, Dick?
Nope.
Come back then. Come back, Dick.
I mean, if no one else is going to be over there, I'll.
Well, no one else really had an option, so.
Yeah, I thought about using the possibility, and then this is
How hard is it going to be for them to do that?
Well, to get over it?
Yeah.
Well, you can move north and south of it. There's like 2 meters of deck clearance.
Ah, okay.
Hang on, this is taking a long time to put stuff in the combat tracker, but bear with it.
Fine. I'll be there then.
See that big dinosaur there, guys. Don't worry about it.
I think it's a giant octopus.
Yeah, he's a cutie pie.
Look at the shape of it, though. It looks like a shark.
Shape of what? What are you looking at?
Look at that.
If you look underneath the boat, do you see a shape? See it? On the
I've
south
zoomed
side
in,
of
I
it?
can't see anything.
On the south side of that ship, there's like a thing on the under the water.
Oh, the combat tracker hasn't
No
crashed.
idea what you're looking at.
I don't see anything there.
Oh, my picture's got on the top of it, it's got waves, and the bottom bit, it's got like a thing in the water. You know how you can't see it?
That would be a big thing.
Yeah, big
I
thing.
don't see anything in the water because it's not water on the south
It's like a
side.
sand.
Oh, is
sand
it
bank
sand
or
on the
something.
south side? 'Cause you
Yeah.
said someone was crawling, swimming under the boat. So
Or under the deck, certainly. Sorry about this. It's taken ages to populate the combat tracker.
that's fine. We'll come back.
I
see
tell
next
you,
week.
it's an octopus and there are like 20 tentacles to put in.
Yeah, I bet you.
Did you watch Deep Rising recently or something?
Well, Dick, remember that idea you have where we all play our cards? Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it just yet.
I know the idea of having like 100 possibilities would be great, but
Yeah, they only last until the end of the act. This is. I hope this hasn't crashed it.
let me
I mean,
see if
my
chat's working.
PC's still responding.
Oh,
but Fantasy Ground
boo.
itself has frozen.
Yeah, I just typed in boo and nothing happened.
Yeah, give it.
Okay, we're
Just,
patient.
yeah,
We're
try to
patient,
go
Cope
guys.
the other day with all of the people in the fire temple, and you'll be pleased to know there's significantly less combatants in this one.
Might be just the
Yeah,
picture,
handle
maybe
them
big.
well.
Well, they
Because-
may be bigger. I don't know.
Because an octopus has only 8 tentacles.
Maybe each picture is 20 gigabytes.
No. Let me just get it so I can actually narrate while I'm waiting for it to load, so we don't stick completely. Do.
In your notes, remember, we all passed our dice rolls by 20s. It was brilliant.
Well, the first thing that any of you hanging over the edge can see and probably feel a little bit relieved about the fact that you're not actually down there is you see that the bottom of the hold is significantly filled with water.
Do we see
And-
like teeth down there?
You can see teeth, but not necessarily the ones you're expecting.
Right, we're not falling down this. I'm using every single possibility I can possibly use. Any second chance card, guys.
What you basically see is as the cargo bay doors fall away and clang with crashing thunderous noise, you can see that there are, I need to get the right numbers here. Yeah, there are double figures at least. Humanoids, green scales, not a dinos, certainly though. These look more fish than lizard-like. And they are the ones that you see in the hold below. They are essentially swimming around without any trouble in the water, and they are armed with short harpoons, snub-nosed faces, but their mouths are filled with sharp needle-like teeth, and it just did it. Yay.
Murlocs.
Similar.
Are they supernatural evil?
No, they are not. Let me just move these guys, because on this side, darting out from the shadows, there are 3 of the aforementioned individuals. And if you give me a second, I'll show you a picture, which is what I was waiting for.
You should get a wee button to program to say that. Are they supernatural evil?
I need to ask every time though.
Why haven't I got the bloody thing on this one?
Well, I hear something smelled suspicious.
Well, it smells fishy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which I assume is what you were going for.
Yeah.
Yep, we got loads.
Yeah, that's what. You know why I actually called this one fishy?
Oak.
Well, that picture came up. Well,
By the
I'm just
And
glad
you've
that he
seen
didn't bring
about-
his knife with him.
About 4 of them have come charging out of broken windows of the pilot house to the west. And Dr. Sanders, the 3 that are slightly further back, you look up in a brief opening in the clouds as moonlight swathes the scene, and you look up and you can see something large and spear-like poking out of smashed windows on that 3rd floor, and that's where you can see some of those individuals manning some kind of apparatus within the pilot house. That being said, funnily enough,
Is this an ambush?
combat start. Well, it would have been, but you were expecting something. You just weren't necessarily expecting the floor to fall out from beneath you. So it's not really an ambush.
Oh, it's not okay because the card only can be played on an ambush. Okay.
Oh, what is it?
Alertness.
What does it do for you?
You notice an otherwise unseen item, clue, or event. Alertness may be played out of your hand at the start of an ambush to prevent the heroes from being surprised.
Okay, well, if you want to, you can spend that card to give you all a very good benefit in the first round of combat.
I will do that.
The benefit is, thanks to Durac's last-minute warning, everybody that previously found themselves hanging off by the edge of their fingertips is, in fact, you're still going to be stymied for round one, but you are able to, you've got your footing. You're on that side accordingly.
The one card.
So it is it's not a dramatic story, it's a standard scene.
Can I have played my master plan to get my second chance back as well? Would I have been allowed to
What,
do
before this? Yeah, if you want to.
when I first played my second chance, would I have
Yeah,
been allowed?
yeah, you could have done. You don't have to. Master plan isn't restricted to inside or inside of combat.
I'll do that then.
So what second chance was it, or have you not got rid of it from your sheet yet?
No, I've just added second chance third. First one, is that okay? Or
Okay, yeah, no problem.
I don't know which one it was. Sorry.
Okay, you guys are in spy of this round. Any actions are approved, but the beasties are going to get first stabbings, unless you're going to do something about. Oh, why is that highlighted?
Do you know what's bad about this card? We're inspired, and we're already at full shock.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. I don't think anyone's wounded apart from one of Dr. Hemlock's spiders, and you were able to do 3 runes in the time you were back there. I'll have let him repair that. So, villains are going first. Now, the fish folk are going to take the opportunity to try to give their companions something to do. So, fish folk 13, fish folk 2, and fish folk 18 are individually going to rush forward and attempt to push people who are still at the edge over the edge.
Is there a defense against this?
Is there a defense against this, you say?
Like dodge.
It could be. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
I think there's a pushing or a shoving rule.
I'm talking about the defend action, basically.
Well, you could do, because whatever it is to do it, then it's basically going to be a grapple. Difference being is they don't want to hold you at the end of the grapple. They want to push you. So it's an unarmed combat test. So it will be defended by unarmed combat or armed combat if you are armed. Now, they are going after Dr. Sanders, Abram, and Ryoko. We will do Dr. Sanders first.
Someone.
Can, surely.
Pardon?
What the tin can?
I was gonna. Someone's deleted one of my rules here. What's the defend thing? It's just roll dice 20, or is
you
it?
Roll a d20. You generate a bonus number, so you can actually use. If you notice, there's one that just says
Test.
Yeah, I think test, because test. If you leave that as a 0, it will just generate a bonus number for you. Okay, so your
3.
dodge is now improved by 3 this round, or whatever defense you're doing this round. Is anybody else taking any active defense?
We choose to do that after the effect.
No, you have to do it before. There is a perk which lets you do it after.
I got the opponent fails in case.
Okay, so fish folk number 13.
I'll do mine. What's it against? Our dodge?
You basically roll a bonus number and you apply it to whichever defense is appropriate.
So I just roll a d20.
Yeah, you just roll a d20 and we generate a bonus number. If you, as I said, if you use the
do
10,
a TORG roll.
Yeah, or just slash tool with nothing on it.
Oh,
So it's a minimum of a +1. You can't make it worse on yourself.
I think I've rolled anything decent yet today.
So far. So against Dr. Dick, he gets. That isn't right. Why did that just do that? Ignore me. I think I know I did that.
Got +2 damage
Roll that
plus.
again. That's better. We'll go for the first one. So it was only a roll of an 11, which is a bonus of 0 against his unarmed combat of 9. Does a 9... Now, this is unarmed combat, so does a 9 hit you, Dr. Dick?
Well, that depends if I'm using.
Opponent fails or not.
Shield.
Well, I mean, wait. So that's my melee defense, obviously. So
It's
it's
your unarmed defense. Or if you've got a weapon in your hand, it can be your melee.
because it
It has
doesn't.
to be a melee weapon.
Unarmed defense doesn't say here. It says dodge.
Then it will
melee.
just be your dex.
Yeah, well, I've got like 1 rank, but I think I get 2 because if I'm doing melee. So yeah, I'm using melee. I'm trying to parry with my machete.
So you're putting the machete up against the thing as it rushes towards you with a desire to push. Does that mean a 9 misses?
A 9 misses exactly. Oh wait, I mean.
So it doesn't miss then. Does it hit 9, or because if it hits that's the target number it needs
Target number is
to
9.
exceed it. Target number is 9, so it hits.
But it fails. Is it worth using opponent fails on that?
Well, if you're not going to take any damage from this, but you will fall down into the hole.
Yeah, opponent fails. Opponent fails. Opponent.
Okay. Opponent fails. Right. Versus Abram.
Oh, this is where he gets a 20.
He misses you, which
Yes.
means
I'm kidding.
you successfully chose to defend and did defend.
Yeah, wasted
So
my time.
you get a card, which again is taking a while.
Woohoo!
Hero card. And then versus Ryoko, this one charges up and attempts to shove you as well. Does a 14 exceed your unarmed combat defense? Or melee, because you've got your katana.
Well, of course. Because my melee weapon thingy is 14. No, it is 14. Good.
Okay, so it's equaled it at the moment.
So barely.
Which means he does succeed.
He does succeed.
What?
So he hits you.
All right. What can I do to prevent this?
Well, you could have declared an active defense if you had done so before he rolled.
All right. Okay. So I'm going down into the pit.
Wave as you fall, I guess.
Yep, you go down into the pit. You splash down into the water. The water's about 5.5 feet deep.
That's
Here.
a possibility, but I suppose that's too late.
Spend a possibility on what though? Because he didn't make a roll.
He didn't do an active defense. So.
Nothing to spend a possibility on.
Well, perhaps I find lost treasure down there.
Maybe you do. That can happen.
Yes.
Or maybe you can just, you take a katana and make some sushi for us.
Yeah.
An electric katana while in water.
Well, he's had that before, but we'll deal with that as and when it happens. It's quite well shielded.
They can come at me.
Durak, what is your dodge?
Hey, my dodge is. Because I was doing defense, I get my shield, so.
Well, you always get your
think-
shield, but the shield adds to your toughness as well against whatever's about to happen.
I think it's 19.
Okay. In that case, they need a very good roll on this one. Not a good enough roll. From one of the central one of the three up in the pilot house, you hear the sound of something being released from pressure, and a harpoon with a fat cable attached to it sails across the distance and tangles up in the crane about 13 feet above your head.
Gets a card.
He does.
Offended.
And your card is
Love interest. Oh,
idea. Theo, what is your dodge?
Hope you forget about me. Oh, there you go.
Well, what actually happens is the... Oh, no, he can't disconnect because he's Tech 7. Basically, you hear a similar ominous sort of like twang, but then there's a twang, crack. Nothing comes out of the wheelhouse for that one. And Abram, what is your dodge?
14.
Similar, another harpoon comes out. It impacts into the deck about sort of like 3 or 4 meters away to your right.
Do I get another card?
16, you looked at old records. No, you don't
Nope.
get another card. You only get one. We still
Nor-
missed you, so it wasn't a problem.
But I
Yeah, 'cause,
succeeded in.
Yeah, but you only get one card. There's only one situation we can do that if it says multi-action and you get a flurry or something along those lines.
Okay.
And the remaining fish folk, well, the ones at the bottom they were taking actions to actually get out. So these ones have been scrambling up.
Yeah, because the dodge you've written in here is with the shield, so that's why it's 13 plus 3. I thought it without
Oh,
the
I see.
shield.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, I
13
get
plus
you.
3 roughly.
These ones. This one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As he realizes, and these two head over and do a many-on-one attack with their harpoons, vicious-looking things, against Ryoko. With a 6, they're not going to hit, however.
Okay, well, can I defend this time?
Oh, they missed.
Well, just saying.
Did I get a card, did you say?
I mean, you did earlier already.
Okay, so which one is it? Sorry.
3, 5, 1. Sorry, counting out loud. They rush in that direction. It's your goes. You got the idea card. Idea
Okay.
63. So who's going first from your lot?
We didn't have a possibility to play a card in the pool.
Not
right?
yet, unless you've got the situational awareness perk. You shouldn't have any cards in your pool yet. Or
All right.
something.
Then I would go first.
I could, if you want me to, I could trick those fish folks so they're a bit easy to deal with.
Sure.
Currently, their appropriate defenses against you are a 9, Ryoko. But don't forget, you are stymied this round. In fact, you're all, apart from Dr. Dick, everyone is stymied this round still.
Right. Ooh. Okay. I think I'm gonna. Can I target all
You're
the fish
doing a
folk?
trick.
No,
Their
I'm doing.
trick is an 8.
Because I should probably deal with the one that's next to me first. So I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna take 13, 10, and 6. Those are the ones I'm gonna try to trick. With the one that's closest to me, I'm gonna pull out, stick my hand into my pouch and just throw some weird powdery stuff in his face. And with the other ones,
Old man pocket lint. Yeah.
no, I literally have like.
No, I know.
And then with the other ones, I'm probably gonna try to maybe throw some. No, I'm not gonna be able to throw at them. I'm gonna. I'm gonna do the old laser thing. Just point lasers at them and
Okay,
watch them.
you're gonna be health and safety redundant and laser pointer them in the eyes.
-4.
Yeah,
And
-4 for doing 2, 3, and as I
Yep.
said, their difficulties are 8. I believe I said. Yep.
Trick. Barrel. Oh,
It's a
I'm gonna
success
spend-
though.
Oh, is it? It's not a very good one, though.
Nope.
Possibility, is it worth it?
It's up to you.
Nah. Okay, so I'm
Hey,
gonna
do you
make
want to
those.
make them vulnerable or stymied?
Can I choose? Because I want to make the one that's next to me stymied and the other two vulnerable.
I'd say you can do that. So 10 and 6 you want to make vulnerable.
I get a card.
And the one next to you stymied. And you do indeed get a card. Now I've decided to do the right one. Yeah. After last week, I didn't like the idea of you putting in everyone putting their cards in at the end of the go, because it does actually say in the book that you should be able to do it at the end of your turn. So we're going to go back to Dr. Dick. You get a second wind, and you can play any card from your hand into your pool. But that's
Right.
before you get the second wind. Who is following on from Dr. Sanders?
I've done my turn.
Yep,
Well-
because you actively defended, as did Abram. Ryoko?
I was thinking about so that the guys don't get rushed upstairs.
Mhm.
I still have the Molotov cocktail. Perhaps I can throw it up to number 12, 15, and 17.
You can give that a shot. I wouldn't give that a problem. I'm going to say it's going to be because you're throwing up. So it's going to be relatively long range. So I'm going to say that they're going to get that'll be a +2 for that one because of the range. So it'll be dodge dex, 8s, 10. So I'm going to say your throw DC is going to be a 12. You are stymied, but I've taken that into account already. So it's missile weapons, which is your equivalent of thrown, DC 12, DN 12.
I only have one spec in it.
You
Well, I
do
can
it.
spend a possibility.
You have the opportunity to spend a possibility.
Let's do it. Quickly get it out and throw it up. So perhaps I can stall
Plus,
those.
it is night. It is quite dark. So any other ranged weapon attempts are going to be at minuses for darkness.
All right, let's do this.
Have you not done it already?
Okay, possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You have to type them numbers.
So,
So put
This
your missile
means-
weapons total into the first box and put a 5 into the second.
so wait a sec. Missile weapon is dexterity, so that's a 9 and a
Plus
5 in
1.
the second box.
Is your dex a 9 and you've got 1 add in missile weapons, or have you got no adds in missile weapons?
I
I
have
guess Dex is 8, then he's adding 1.
no. My dex is 9 and I have missile weapon 1, so it's
So
actually
it should be a 10. Put a 10 in the
Alright.
box.
Come on.
It's all right. 12 is what you needed.
Yeah, but still, I haven't rolled a die.
No, you haven't. I must
of
admit,
10.
you haven't. So, what damage does the Molotov cocktail do? Have you got it written down, or have you just got Molotov
No,
cocktail written down?
I only got the Molotov.
How did I know that was going to be what it was?
Dum-dum-dum.
It's in the items.
It's in the items. It's also under explosives.
I don't have anything in items, to tell you the truth. I open it. There's nothing in there. Apart from a Faraday cage and a turtle shield shell.
I haven't transferred any over heavy weapons and explosives. Actually, I think it's actually a missile weapon.
There's an investigator.
Petrol
box.
bomb, often called a Molotov cocktail.
That's the one you want. What damage does it do?
C, fire on page 136.
Because their toughness, because they have got scaly skin, so they're pretty tough all over. The toughness is only a 9, though. Sorry, what was the page? Because I don't think you'll have the page if it said 143 or something like
says
that.
see fire on page 136.
136 fire. Targets are engulfed in flames. See fire on page 136.
If you go up though, you'll see what it does. What it says.
Since Torg Attorneys is a cinematic game. Assume most highly incendiary substances catch fire when hit with an open flame.
Right, petrol bomb from the Nile Empire, is it?
I think so.
First thing is 20, then 14, then 10, 20, 30, and then 25/7, whatever that is.
Which page was that on?
Page.
I've got it, petrol bomb. So the damage is 14. But they are, because it has fire, they are potentially on fire for the next round, which will do 8 plus 1 bonus die of damage for being on fire. So 14 versus their toughness of 9 is 5 result points. What does 5 result points do, people? It's 2 shock and 1 wound.
2 shock, 1 wound.
Yeah, we wouldn't
And
have
guess
got
how many
that one.
wounds these guys have?
1.
None,
Well, 0. So 1 wound takes them out. So
Yes.
17, 15, and 12.
They're all dead. They've no
Mama
wounds, guys.
multi-kill.
12. Where's 17 and 15 gone? 15.
Does this put the fear into the other ones that are 16, 3, and 9 as they see their
I want a card.
sushi friends turned into grilled fillets?
But you do, for successfully doing that, get a card. Which up in a minute, you get the supporter card, and you can play a card from your hand into your pool. Who is following from Ryoko? I think we've only got Father Theo left, I think.
Yep.
Okay, that means basically you can disengage from a foe at any point. It just means you're vulnerable. Okay? Okay, -2 because you're stymied. Well, don't forget, it comes from you. Yeah, it comes from your position, not that thing. But you do sort of get everybody. We'll say Ryoko's. Yeah, she's a lot further down, but we'll hand wave that. It's not a problem. Okay, go ahead, ward enemy.
Please don't
So
sing.
you're getting a -2, which you've already taken into account. So it's a standard success, not a good. But yeah, you've got ward enemy up. I know, but at this point you don't necessarily know they're supernatural evils, so you're hedging your bet. Everyone still feels good. It is indeed.
Yep, new card coming
Signs
up.
are bad. Heroes are up.
Yay!
All villains must make a fear test. Those who fail become stymied and must flee on a mishap.
Ooh, this is the first time we've actually had a good card for us.
Yeah, so there are 17 of them currently. Oh, fear test. Right. Okay. We'll do that first, just so you don't waste your time. So its difficulty is only 10s.
Is it okay if we get Theo to roll for? Because he's good at once.
No, they make the roll. They have to make a spirit test.
What you trying
So-
to say?
Fishfolk number 8. Fails. So he is stymied. Fishfolk number 4 flees on a mishap. So he's going to disappear now. So number 4 disappears. Don't know where he disappeared from. I don't care. Fishfolk number 3 See, I'm getting bad rolls with you guys as well as you guys as well. So he is also stymied. That guy is also stymied. Give me a second. Right, where was I? Fishfolk 18 still hasn't gone. Oh, he succeeded. 11 failed. Next one succeeded, so 11 failed. 1 succeeded. Fishfolk 9 succeeded. Fishfolk 7 failed. And the other one, so 7 and 2 both failed. Only a few more to go. 16 succeeded. 14 failed. Fishfolk number 6, who's also still vulnerable. Hey, he succeeded. Number 5 failed. Number 14 failed. So 5 and 14 have both failed. So 5 and 19 have both failed, I should say. 5 and 14. I keep saying 14. It's 19. 13 succeeded and 10 failed. So there's lots of scared, stymied fish folk. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Okay, and give me a second.
Let's get my up ready then.
Yep, I've just got to do something else quickly. And come on, are you working? Somebody just made things complicated. Or more complicated, I should say.
Who would that be? Dr. Dick.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Dr. Dick.
Why didn't that one come up? Right, that's complicated. They're in different places. Right, give me a second. Right. I think that's everything on the beginning of this, but just give me a second to double check something else. Okay. Everyone can have 2 possibilities.
Well, they go up higher. I know what I know what you've done.
Yeah, but do you?
There'll be lots of dinosaurs.
Hang on, I'm just rearranging. It might be. Right, that all works. Right, but you guys go first. Go. We got to that point.
Pardon? Or go right? Okay,
Your goes.
I'll go
Have the
first.
thing, did we?
Sorry?
Do we have the thing where we can get to re-roll? Is that?
You are up.
No.
So what you want to do on this one, you can either roll a second d20 just automatically, or if you use the one in your character sheet that says up, just put in your normal skill total and use that, and it'll automatically roll 2 dice. Now this is anything you do this round, okay? Just like that.
Okay, that was on Fishfolk 2. Intimidate.
What you do? Intimidating him.
Mhm.
And that's Fishfolk 2 in the middle. So he is currently stymied, so he's harder for him to do anything to you. A 20 on Intimidate, Jeebus. What is your intent on this one? Because you might get a player's call on that one. Because his Intimidate is an 8.
Oh, my goal was to make him run away and fall down
Runs away
the shaft.
and jumps off the ship.
He's a water creature, so it's probably
Yeah, he just
water.
runs away.
Ooh, I did it, guys! And I get a card.
Have a flurry. And don't forget, you can play a card into your pool. Who's following on from Durak's Mighty Dwarven Roar?
Everyone's shocked, it seems.
I'm probably going to do the same. I'm going to try to intimidate Fishfolk 13, and then I'm going to do double action and shoot one of the.
Isn't it Theo first?
Well, if you want to go fast, you can go fast. but-
No, go for it. I don't really. I'm only going to do something stupid. You go for it.
Go on, let's watch Theo jump
Stupid's
off.
good. We want to see Stupid first.
If you want to
I
shoot,
don't. I don't want Mr. Stupid standing beside Mr. Durak here.
right, right.
We can put the
That's
on top of you.
That's it. He's going to do it now.
that counts as egging me on. That doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to get me shotgun, and I'm going to blow him away.
Theo.
So you literally, I mean, you're at short range anyway, so don't forget you get a +2 for shotgun at short range. Combat shotgun.
Is that so you can't miss?
It gives him extra bonuses. So I think it's a total of +4 or +5. I can't remember if burst gives you a 2 or a 3. So I got it in front of me now. Rapid fire, 3 rounds, add a +2. So you're getting a +4 to hit. Short range, 3-round burst. His dodge isn't great. It's an 8.
Whoa, that is so close.
But no disconnect. Currently, you're missing. No, but please, forget what you just did. You are up this round. So please do it again. But this time, use the up option in your rolls. All you have to do is put your skill in. So skill plus the bonuses. So whatever your fire combat +4 is, so that should be a 14 in your skill total. And you'll see why it's better to do that in a minute.
And the one says up.
Yep, you done that? That's why, you see? Because, I mean, it knows what your first dice was, which is why the 4 is to the left, because if that came up with a 1, you would have disconnected. I won't bother working that out, because I think your basic damage is a 13 or 14 on the combat shotgun. You are rolling, and I'd go roll the bonus die, do 2B, use the damage 2BD, just click on that, it's quick enough to do. Yeah, so 15 plus 2 bonus dice. And you can re-roll the 1, so just roll a d6 again. So you're currently on an 8. That's a 13. 28. Yeah. Fish folk 18 is sushi. Who's following Theo? That wasn't stupid at all. Well done. You can play a card into your pool, don't forget.
If I may just do it, because
Sure.
I'm going to intimidate Fishfolk 13 just by pointing my gun at him and making loud gun noises.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot.
Only
Fishfolk
works
5.
because they are primitive fish people.
Yeah.
Plus, he's just seen what one of those things can do, not 5 meters to the south of him on the deck.
My boomstick.
And you said you were going to do multi-action. You were going to shoot at.
Number 5.
Which is one. Where's number 5? Oh, one of the ones that's climbing up. Okay, so same bonus number. So you're taking the bonus number of an 8. You did it on unskilled because you haven't got intimidate, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so a 14 versus his defensive intimidate, which I believe we said before was only an 8. So do you want to make him very vulnerable or very stymied? You haven't got enough to make him player's cool.
Very
Let me just double check to make sure, because he's already 13.
I can do action 12.
Bear in mind, it's only gonna. He's stymied. He's not vulnerable. That won't give you enough to move it up to a player's call because you need your 4 away because you need an 18.
Oh crap!
So I wouldn't worry about spending the card at that point. But so he's already stymied. Do you want to make him very stymied and vulnerable?
Yeah.
So he gets 1 and that one. So you're adding 1 to his stymied and making him vulnerable as well. And then the same bonus number of 8 onto Fishfolk 5 applied with your fire combat.
Yeah, and I'll also get a +3, no +2 because I'm doing the short burst. And fire combat is 11. So that's that. So that's what was the bonus?
Yeah, the bonus is 8. So fire combat of 11 plus 8.
Yeah.
19.
So 19. We don't worry about the minuses for the multi-action because they're counterbalanced by the pluses for the short burst.
Right, yeah.
So that's against their dodge, which is a 8. So that is 2 bonus die of damage. So use the 2 damage 2BD on the front of the character sheet.
2BD. Wait, crap. Oh, did I?
No, you did that perfectly right. Well, you only rolled 1 of them. So 15 on 1 dice. So do that again for the second one.
That's
20 damage. Plus your
20
weapon
damage before you've added the weapon damage. Again, you basically just... Your shot takes his arms off, both of them, about 3 inches below the wrist. And as he falls backwards with black blood spewing out of his arms, he just disappears backwards into the water. Rather ominously, from down in the water, Ryoko, you briefly see the splash, and then there is a sort of frenetic activity under the water, and there's a sort of a spreading of dark liquid in the water, as if something down here just devoured that creature. Time for Ryoko's go now, I think.
Inside where I am here. Is there a possibility to shoot with the gun on multiple targets?
Yeah, multi-attack.
Multi-attack.
So you just do a -4 if you're shooting at 3 targets.
Let's do this. So that would be missile. No, that
Fire
would
weapons.
be
Fire combat.
fire combat, which is 2. That means it is 11, right?
Yeah, if you want, okay, you're using the up. Yep.
Yes.
So if you take your -4s off, that gives you a 7. So
Okay.
if you put in a 7 on the up, that'll do the equivalent of having the minuses.
I use a possibility.
Yeah, the dodges are only 8, so that is still a
Okay,
hit.
that's okay.
But it depends how much damage you're doing. You're not doing any bonus damage on that, but
Yeah,
it is a hit.
it's just 13 with the weapon. If I recall.
13 versus 9, just to let you know, that's 1 away from killing them outright.
Okay, so I only can improve if I up my skill, right?
You'd have to spend a possibility, but then you'd get to roll another d20, not 2. You don't get another 2 d20s.
Yeah,
But that
I will
would guarantee. So just roll 1 d20.
One.
So your first total is at least a 10. So your first total, 7 out of 8 is a 15. That makes it a 25. That's a bonus number of 8 onto your skill total of 7 is a 15. 15, as I said, against their dodges of 8. That's 7. So use the 1 BD on your character sheet to roll 1 bonus die of damage.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's a 1.
So that's 1 onto the damage of
13, so that's 14.
This card says the signs are bad, but this has been a very good sign today.
Is this enough? 14 damage?
It might be. Give me a second. 14 versus 9. That's 5. Yeah, that's enough. So, fish folk 10, 6, and 20. I'm assuming those are the 3 you were firing at.
Yes, they weren't in front of me. So I guess that those are 3 bullets then.
Yeah, because you did. Well, it's actually more because you have to essentially, if you're doing short burst, it's 3 per target.
Okay.
So it's actually 9 bullets.
All right, 9. I can live with that.
And which one was the one I missed? Which one's left? 6. 6? 6.
6.
Try 6.
Okay. Abram, I think you're the only one to go.
Yep, sorry. I will. So what have we got? We've got some coming around the sides.
Yeah, you've got 2 still coming around the side to the top, 1 still engaged with Dr. Sanders, 2 climbing up the north face of the cargo hold, 3 climbing up the south face of the cargo hold, and you can hear some activity from the 2 up in the pilot's cabin on the 3rd floor.
I'll go for the 2 that are to the north of us coming round together. They're
Okay.
matched.
Do I get a card?
No, because you did shooting, not intimidate or taunting. But you
all
can play a card from your hand into your pool.
Done that.
Okay.
I will use an explosive shell because that should take both of them out.
Yep, 1 shot can take both out.
I'll hit them both or attack them both. So I'm up. So I put into the.
If you put your number into the, if you put your skill total into the up box and just click that, it'll roll both dice.
Ooh, scared. Possible up. What?
You got a 4 on the first dice.
19.
4 plus 15, still a bonus number. But see, on an up round, you could still. I mean, you can't ever succeed if you roll a 1, but you could still succeed on a 4-case disconnect.
What does 19 give me then?
Versus their dodge.
Yeah.
2 bonus die damage. Their dodges are 8.
Ooh, excellent. We'll do that then. 2 bonus die. That's that one.
I get the feeling Fishfolk 11 and 19 are going to get blown up.
Oh, that would be 28 damage to both of them. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye indeed. Right, so two things happen on their go. Fishfolk number 13 runs and jumps off the edge. Fishfolks 7 and 14 just fall back down into the hold, as do 16, 3, and 9. Fishfolk 1 disappears into the darkness. As who's watching up there? Probably Theo, Dr. Dick. You're both watching up, and you watch as Fishfolk 8 seems to disappear from the window. But then there is a flurry of something reptilian looking, possible hint of tail, which dives into the window where you're looking in. It's in the darkness, and you hear Fishfolk 8 scream.
Oh, if they'd have been nicer, we might have been able to help them. Could have joined together. Oh, there's a scream.
Hang on, I just need to get the movement. And a sort of a honk honk noise of something communicating with something else. That noise echoes, and the first thing that any of you see is about 5.5 foot tall at the shoulder, comes running around the side of the boat, coupled by its partner running around the south side of the boat.
What is this thing?
And then, emblazoned in the moonlight, blood and viscera covering its snout, a third creature leaps out of the third floor window and just lands with a heavy thump, click, click of its vicious looking sickle-like claws as a trio of velociraptors. However, these aren't accurately sized, turkey-sized velociraptors. These are slightly larger than Jurassic Park-sized velociraptors. And I think that's all of their move as we go into the third round of combat. This is the plan. Kill them and don't get eaten. Quite a good plan. Well done. Proved action to intimidate. It's a standard. Villains are inspired. Any character with natural armor rating gains +1 toughness for the round. Well, that will be the dinosaurs then.
Oh, I've got natural armor. It's dragon armor.
No, it's not natural.
Damn it.
And
It's
they
natural.
go first. So, the one at the top is going to use his ability to charge into combat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And what actually happens is it goes about halfway down the side of the hold and launches itself into the air. So, Dr. Dick, the last thing you're seeing at this point is this large, very aggressive looking lizard with not the natural coloration. These things are blues and reds and greens all over the place. Claws out, just diving down onto you. So it's unarmed combat with a bonus of +2. So before I roll this, are you doing anything like active defense or the like?
My dodge is 11. Because I'm not sure if that's gonna.
Just to let you know, this thing has an unarmed combat of 12, and is getting a +2 thanks to his maneuver.
Okay, I'm gonna defend.
Okay, generate your bonus number. So that's a +2.
+2, so that puts me at a 13.
Okay, so I'm going to roll now. You're lucky. It basically it's leaping towards you, but it seems that it miscalculated the jump. And you stand there literally ready to leap back, and it lands about 3 feet further away from you than it was expecting, which means it doesn't land. It just goes smack bang into the wall of the cargo hold. You jump back slightly as just for a brief second, its head snaps over the lip of the cargo hold towards you. There's a scrabbling noise, and it splashes down into the hold.
Coming.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well done.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, it's still good.
all
Good
the,
job.
all the
8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one doesn't leap. It's you watch it, Father Theo, moving with ridiculous speed as this thing covers the ground on the other side of the cargo hold, and then before you can even blink, it's in your face and snapping at you with its jaws.
This is where he rolls a 20 now, Theo.
No time to laugh at the other one that just went plummeting
No,
down.
not at all. Are you taking any actions of defense? So roll either do the test with a 0 or just roll the d20 and we can work it out. Or you could roll dodge, actually. What am I talking about? If you've got dodge. It's a minimum of a 1. So what's your dodge +1? So 2, add your dex, which is...
Look on the combat part. You should have a dodge written there.
Yeah, I should have added your dodge. I think yours is a 9. Yeah, so you're on a 10 at the moment. Okay, the Velociraptor comes barreling around the corner and barrels into you. Now, remember, you do have holographic armor, which is a bit more defensive than it would otherwise be, but that is 1 bonus die of damage. To soak, you can do if you want to in a minute. Or if you wanted to spend a possibility on dodge, you'd have to have done that before I'd then rolled.
Every time
Sorry, can you do 1 extra? So its teeth start biting down on your chest. 14 damage. Yep, so it's 11 with 4. They're not armor piercing. So it does do enough to do 2 shock. So the force knocks the wind out of you. No, it's not that kind of holographic stuff. It's actually hard light holograms, Derek.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask. What it is.
Your shock threshold is equal to your spirit. So it would have you're on 10 at the moment. You should be on 10 total. So you're down to 8.
Lose 2.
Shock's meant to go downwards.
Yes. So basically, you would have recovered your shock in the rest, so you would have gone back up to 10. Everyone should have been on max shock at the beginning of this. So that's just taken 2 off. So you'll be on 8 total now. And the third one charges in, seemingly angry at the ignominy of its companion Raptor 3, and also as a go at Dr. Dick, who you are still under the effect of your active defense, Dr. Sanders. So you're on a 13. Oh, and it just misses. Just misses.
It's a pity the thing wasn't at the defend. You'd be getting 2 cards now.
Just 1.
Every time you
Scout,
defend,
your shock just over. So your shock should be 10. So that's your maximum because that's equal to your spirit. Yeah, it would have healed. So let's say you're on 8 at the moment. Okay, so you're on 6. Okay, what are you guys doing?
Laughing.
I'm going to go over and punch the one fighting Theo. If you can have that attitude, mister. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find where my thing is. Oh, there it is. Right.
They are unarmed combat defenses at 12.
I'm trying to find my unarmed combat. There we go. Got it.
And this round, they're up is 13.
I am going to use my possibility because I've got loads of them.
Yep.
So the first one's my skill, isn't it? And the
Yep.
second
So
one's
you put
my
your
die
normal
total.
skill and then the die total in the second one.
11. What did I roll? 5?
Yep. You can play that after if you need it. Let's see how he does. So it's at least a 10. So you're currently on a total of a 13, which would hit them, but it isn't enough to do any bonus damage. The supporter card, should you elect to take it off of Father Theo, assuming you still decide to spend it, would put you at a 4 points over, which is still not enough for a good success. So it still wouldn't give you any bonus damage.
Okay, I'm going to play coup de grace.
Which is going to give you a bonus die anyway.
Yep, so... Yeah, because that way, I'm sorry, looking for the coup de
Roll
grace.
your bonus die. There, so the toughness are 13 currently.
So I did 18 damage, AP 2.
Okay, AP2 means you are actually cutting through 1 point of scaly hide. Although,
They get a bonus one.
yeah, seeing as it's thick skin, it's adding 2 natural armor. So I'm going to say that cuts through the APs as well. So they've gone from having toughness 12 1 to toughness 13 2. So your armor piercing cuts through the toughness. So what damage you do? Because they've got a toughness of 11.
I said they're 18.
7 result points. That's a wound and 2 shock.
Mm.
That is large raptor number 1.
That was me.
I just need to double check how many. 2 shock. 1 wound. They should all be on 1 actually. Let's do that. He should now be on 0. And shock of that one. Okay, who's following Durac? You basically, the dwarf leaps in, rakes his own claws up the dinosaur's underbelly, leaving 4 red welts running all the way up to its throat. You stopped just short of the jugular vein. Why'd you spend a possibility, Derek?
Because I used one.
Did you? Oh, you did it on the, yes, sorry, yeah. I saw it earlier. Yep. Who's following Durac?
I'll go then.
Okay, Abram.
Help Theo. Not Theo, sorry, Dr. Dick.
Yay.
I'll move more to that position so I can get a better angle.
He is still engaged in combat, however.
Yeah.
So unless you've got an accuracy card or something like that, you are going to run the risk of hitting. Well, it's not necessarily running the risk of hitting Dr. Dick. If your end dice total is odd, you will randomly determine who within that you hit. So it's not a 50-50 chance. It's a 50-50 chance you'll hit the right thing, and then maybe a 33% chance, or I can never remember what a 50-50 compounded is.
Right. I'll still attempt. I'm going to use them because it looks like they're quite toughened, these ones. So I'm going to use my adamant shell.
You could also just. Oh no, you can't. Dr. Dick's already had his go. Otherwise, you would normally just go. You go first, and then Dr. Dick disengages, becomes vulnerable, but then isn't subject to you shooting him. So, but unfortunately, he dodged. So.
It's okay. You can dodge your bullet too.
Yeah, he still gets the same dodge.
True. Can I What's it? Where you aim at a specific point.
Cool shot. Subtract a penalty based on size.
I'm trying to hit, say, its head. Although,
I mean, you can do that. It doesn't counteract the firing into melee. though.
no, but it gives me +4, doesn't it, on damage or something?
If it's a vital area, yes, but it will also give you a plus because essentially you'd be shooting Dr. Dick's head if you hit him. Instead.
Yeah, it'll be a -4. Something like that, isn't it? Do you hit?
But you see, Theo's supporter card gives +3, so that would change an odd number to an even number.
I see.
Just to point that out.
However,
Good.
I will
So
just point out
no.
that changes the number of the action total, not the dice roll. Bonuses only ever add to the bonus number,
it doesn't add to the
not
dice
the
roll.
dice roll.
So you can't use it like that? Oh.
See, trying to use sneaky mathematics.
Yes, I forgot. That doesn't change the dice roll.
I'm quite
damn
sad
it.
about that. That's an excellent idea, though, I thought.
I did think, I thought, +3, that
It was
changes
a very
it.
good idea.
But no, it doesn't, does it?
Nope.
Oh, crap.
Just roll your
These
dice.
are
Your end die total. So if you roll odd on the first one, you can spend a possibility, and then as long as you roll odd again,
Okay.
you'll be on an even.
Let's give it a go. Sorry, Dr. Dick.
Apologising in advance.
Yeah, he just shot you in the head and killed you.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
You never
for
needed your
God's
head anyway.
sake.
That's even.
That's
Yeah,
even
that's rubbish. I'm not having
and a
that.
miss.
I'm going to have to do a possibility on that. Because that's rubbish.
Okay, don't forget to use the possibility. It'll work it all out. So you want to put your skill in the first one and the die total in the second.
Come on.
It's at least a 10. So it's
That's
currently 12, which is
12.
even.
So that's okay, that's even. I could play a hero card and risk it again.
Don't.
So, yeah. So you're currently going, that is enough to get a bonus die of damage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, assuming, were you doing anything else like the aims and anything else or not in the end?
I can't do aim. That's a
Sorry,
success
called shot is what I
turn,
meant.
isn't it?
Because that's assuming called shot and everything else hasn't been done.
Yeah, because if
Okay.
you did call shot, that'd be -.
So what do I need for a single bonus dice?
You've got enough. You need a 13 for a single bonus die.
Okay.
Because
But
it's
if I
dex.
do cold shot, that'll be -2.
4.
Minus
Well,
4.
head soccer's ball size thing will be a -4.
That's quite a big head. You know, it's quite.
So that will
enormous.
give you
It's like
+4 damage, but you wouldn't be rolling any bonus die of damage.
Damn it! But I was just wondering if I could use the supporter card then to get me over the.
Well, you could, because again,
But it won't.
but it
will 'cause it's
wouldn't. It will put you one
4.
shy.
I could use my hero. It's just funny. Dice with best. No, go on. I'll stick with the normal damage then.
Roll one
so
bonus die.
I get a bonus die, don't I?
And then we need to know what your base damage for
Come
you've
on,
done.
6s. Yes. Oh,
That's a 7.
that's 21 armor piercing 4.
Okay, so the AP4 reduces it to 11. So that's
Over.
2 wounds and 4 shock on Large Raptor number 2, which puts him from 1 wound down to -1 wound and takes him down.
You killed someone
There you go,
finally.
Roxanne.
Ryoko.
I rush over with the katana.
You swim over.
I swim over.
What's your normal move? What's your dex?
9.
So you can move. Yeah, you can have because you can move half that. So
I run.
you're in
I
the
run
water. So
along
you run across.
Okay, and I will slice it.
Okay, it fell down, so it's going to be vulnerable this round. So Large Raptor number 3's normal defenses of unarmed combat would be 12. Currently, you're at a 10. You hit it,
Yeah.
even with the 5. Okay, just before you, it's got a toughness of 13 currently, but that is 2 points of armor. And I know your katana's at least AP2, isn't it?
Yes.
So that would be against an 11. So you can decide right now if you want to just go with the damage, with your base damage versus an 11, or if you want to spend a possibility to rank it up.
Yeah, I will rank it up.
Okay. So
So-
put your melee weapons in the first box, your die total of 5 in the second box, and hit the TORG button.
So that's 15 and 5. No, that's not true.
Yeah, your melee weapons is 15, isn't it? Or is it 14?
14.
14.
Come on. Not
All
one roll above 10.
But it's still enough to get a 16 because it counts as at least a 10. So 16 versus its unarmed combat of 10 defense gives you a bonus die.
All right.
Now, if you... Would that give you... Yeah, no, you'd have to go. You're not within 2. So roll again because of signature weapon. Not much better, but still better than nothing.
Okay, so that's 15 armor piercing 2.
So that's 4 result points.
And I can up it by 2 with the key strike.
Which will make it 1 wound and 2 shock.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Which, according to this, was one of those already wounded, or have I've put it on the wrong one?
That was
the one up
that
beside
jumped
me was
down.
wounded. The
Yeah,
one fell
that
down.
should be there. Well, they're both wounded now, so sorry, I took the. Okay, you don't take it out because it's only 1 wound, but it is bleeding. There is more blood in the water. You can't be entirely sure, but you're uncertain. But you think you might see movement in the water around you and your opponent.
That big dinosaur eats you down there.
All right.
Just-
Is there like any cables or something I can grab onto and
And next round, if you want to try.
All right. But there are.
There are. There's lots of different things you can climb up with.
Okay.
That's appropriate.
You're bleeding
Always
out.
appropriate. Bleeding out. Heroes go first. Villains go second. Any villain who has suffered 1 or more wounds suffers another wound.
Oh,
So I'll just let you know that if you do nothing to them this round, they die this round. But describe what you're doing. Just don't take all evening doing it. 'Cause they're going to be dead in a minute anyway.
I want to get out of the water since
Yeah,
there's
and the
disturbance.
setback's going to be interesting as well.
To get out.
yeah, let's get him and
Yeah.
do a maneuver.
Are there any like ropes or anything lying around here?
There's lots of different things. Let's say we'll narrate this because it's getting late and I want to move on a little bit before we close out the session.
So what's
You managed to, Ryoko, you managed to clamber up. I'll give you the card now because you're going to be discarding down at the end of the combat round anyway. Just roll a d20 and just don't get a 1.
Okay. That's
Close. Close. Well, you succeeded, so you can have the Maelstrom card. Obviously, the wounds that you inflicted upon the one in front of you were slightly deeper than it first thought, because as the creature goes to take a bite out of you or Theo, the third groove, because you put 4 grooves up it, its movement tears the third groove and its guts just spill out onto the deck in front of you. Ryoko, as you're climbing up the hold, you turn behind you and you see the lizard, the velociraptor that's coming after you. It wades, leaps once, snaps, leaps twice, snaps a bit closer. As it leaps the second time, a second set of elongated shadowy jaws just reach out from the darkness of the cargo bay to your east and just clamp down around the body of the thing, and then the whole mass of what looks like some giant elongated crocodile just splashes down and disappears into the darkness and the depths beneath.
There is always a bigger fish.
There is always a bigger fish.
Except neither of those things were fish, but yeah, I get the picture. It's
All pull cards go back into your hand. And has anybody got more than 5 cards in their hand?
Nope.
Yeah, if I had to move them back.
Yeah, you have to move them back at the end of the combat round.
Let's see. I'm going to remove.
Discard down to 5.
Well, I think I'm going to do is discard step 8.
Okay.
John,
Say what you're discarding, just in case other people have got master plans and the like to pick up. Yes, Alexander.
I don't understand the Maelstrom card.
Right.
Why
Maelstrom.
would I play it?
Okay, so until the end of your next turn, no one may spend possibilities. So anything that requires a possibility to do, or abilities that require them to activate, for whatever reason, they are unavailable.
Yeah, but
I
why
mean,
would I?
because sometimes the bad guys
Ah,
can
okay.
spend possibilities as
Okay.
well.
Certain big bosses use dim threads. I think that other card says your big bad guy will arrive by a dim thread if you roll a 6.
Yes, it does. Eyes of the Tsar. Maelstrom is a very important card if you are prepared for a battle with a possibility rated foe.
All right.
The Bridge of the Shipwrecks continues on for about a mile until you can see the shoreline of Chicago and the Chicago skyline within the night's darkness. If you want to know exactly where you are on Google Maps, you could put in the McCormick Convention Center, because you find your way up onto the shoreline just to the east of this 3-story building in what was once the southeastern shoreline of Chicago. Against the starlit sky, you can see other tall buildings looming in the distance. Particularly to the far north, you can see the tallest building still in the area, which is what used to be called the Sears Tower, what is also now currently called the Willis Tower. As you're looking, you can see storms raging off in the distance, and once or twice the tower itself is illuminated. Can everybody please make me a find check, please? I'm hoping I have actually got the image I'm about to show you on this bit.
I'm just looking for it now. It's massive.
Put it in
I think
the
we had
event.
one 6-seater here. Someone didn't roll though.
That's some wood elf perception level we are rolling here.
Yeah, only one person got anything. Did I not include it?
Don't see it.
No, that's not it.
Dr.
I
Dick.
thought I'd done. Yeah, can you do a find check if you haven't already, Dr. Dick?
Oh, yeah.
Massive
Okay.
glassy affair.
Now, ignoring the fact that this is during the day, because it might just be that that's when you get there. And it's at completely the wrong angle. But both Abram and Dr. Dick get a relatively good look at the Willis Tower. I'll give you a few seconds.
Huh. Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Let's.
sorry. What?
They can see it.
Okay.
You can
I
see
don't know why they changed the name, but yeah, that's the tower, right?
I see a recognizable tree,
I don't see anything.
I believe.
It's very brief.
When I look
When-
at it, do I get a bit of a, oh,
Yeah, you get a little bit of a shiver down your spine.
one of those.
But Dr. Sanders, as well as looking at that, as you're picking your way as a group across the rubble-strewn and plant-festooned streets ahead of the convention centre, you notice that the white roof of the convention centre itself is riddled with holes from frequent reality storms, busted and rusting HVAC units, piles of lead and other detritus strewn this crumbling island, because one thing is the water level's quite high as well. But what quickly catches your eye on a first story roof, leaning slightly prostrate against a rusting old air conditioning unit, is the limp body of an Adinos. As you approach, you notice two things of note. The first is that this Adinos is missing a tail. The second is that the lizard man's figure is festooned in golden jewelry, both around the neck, the ankles, and each wrist.
Oh, looks like a fancy boy.
And as you get a little closer in the cold, as you know, it's not cold of night, because it's living land, it's quite hot still. You notice the body shift, because with your 17 you got a good success. You notice the body shift ever so slightly. You wouldn't be too surprised. This Adinos appears to still be alive.
I think that guy isn't dead. Let's you know, I don't know, check him out.
End his suffering.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe
Why
he's
would
got.
they do that to one of their own? Or do you think there's some humans in that tower that have done that? Or some other force?
Tower's a significant distance away still.
Not the-
She's lying outside on a low roof of the convention center.
Oh, it's a girl. Sorry, I didn't mean to. You know.
Isn't that what lizards do if they get feared? They get rid of their.
Didn't we see blood on that?
I suppose it's not possible to talk to them, right?
You saw blood and a detached tail
Yep.
on the Mickey Jones.
I remembered that.
Okay, nice. What, you remembered something? Well, you. I mean. Oh, anyway.
I'll
Are
let
you
you-
approaching cautiously or otherwise?
I will
Yeah,
approach
cautiously.
uncautiously.
Could be a trap.
Well, I'm not going. I don't care if it's a trap or not. I'm just going to make sure.
I'm not saying that we don't do it. I'm just prepping us. Keep an eye out for any sort of trap as well.
Yeah, you want to keep your tail, right?
So Durak is the first to approach you.
I'm the bravest of the bunch of us.
You get about 4 or 5 meters away, and the creature's head lolls towards you, and you notice the eyes open, and the creature, its lips draw back in what you can only assume is some kind of grin. I know you. You pursue us, but you are too late. My mistress, Malacrix the Throat Ripper, has taken your Godbox to the Black Tower. Follow and see the fall of your soulless land.
What's a Godbox?
Yeah, thanks for the info, dipshit.
She hisses to herself. Doesn't seem to have much energy. But it would seem that she still has some confidence in herself.
This is a question to Theo, by the way. Theo, Godbox, what is it?
It's the
Mr.
thing that
Scholar,
got
roll if you got it.
thrown.
Theo?
He's got God in his name. He knows what it is.
Yes.
Hey Theo, what's the God hand? What else has God in the name? Well, never mind. Yeah.
You can do if you want. Actually, yeah, make a faith check. The only person that's had any information about this so far is Dr. Dick.
Nice.
He's so busy making sarcastic comments, he doesn't even
Can I
notice.
make some sort of check to see if I remember whatever that was?
Make a scholar check if you want to.
Hey, what check?
Scholar.
Scholar check. Yeah.
Well, you vaguely remember it was something at the Smithsonian. Something, you can't remember if it was Mayan or Incan or something along those lines.
Probably Theo's 18, let's see.
Oh yeah. From the Native American exhibit. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, that jogs something in your mind as well, Theo, that during your time at seminary, you did some standard studies of lots of pagan and primitive religions. And in one, you do remember, you can't remember the exact native name for it, but you do recall that the translation of the item we're talking about was something, a Godbox, essentially. You remember reading about it in your study of Mayan history. According to the bits you remember, it was a receptacle built by the Mayans, and they had hoped to control their god, Kukulkan, which was their version of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent of war. And it was apparently built in an attempt to use that power to repel the conquistadors, the strange invaders who plagued their lands. According to history, they were defeated by the conquistadors, who found the tail, but the box survived. That was their primitive ideal, that they would use it to control one of their deities, Kukulkan, in order to use his power against an enemy. As you're discussing this, the Dinos turns. We learned of the box at the Great Temple. Your people call it Chichen Itza, but the box was long gone. Our human thralls used your internet to find it in Kars land. We traveled many days through doorways of air before we reached the Tsar, Baruch Kar. We took the box from your house of stone and were to meet Kar at the great tree, but he did not come before you pathetic humans arrived.
Well, yeah, okay. thanks for the exposition. I believe your value to the plot has expired. So go away. We don't care. Do we care? I'm not sure. We should get this thing probably.
Such things are beyond this simple one. I am a warrior, not an optant. But with the box, my mistress will become queen of the Adinos. And there is nothing you puny pink skins can do to stop her.
She must
Yeah,
feel something, otherwise she'd won't keep running away from
We
us.
also have the powers of dramaturgy. We're clearly
My
supposed to.
Do you reckon you're going to put her out of her misery, please?
I mean, she looks heavily wounded
What'd you
anyway.
say, sorry?
As she's lying there, he said, "Can you put her out of her misery?" As she's lying there, you can see not only has she got the mortal wound from the bloody stump of the loss of her tail, but you can see a number of deep harpoon wounds within her abdomen. It would seem that their group also encountered the fishmen as well. Derek, if you're attempting to put her out of her misery, she has neither the strength nor the conviction to resist if you wish to do so.
Okay, I'll do it because he was told to. We don't like enemies behind us, do we?
No, we don't.
And I'll grab some jewelry because it seems I like doing that in the previous episode. All gold, guys. It's all
Fear
gold.
could be cursed. What you take there?
No, we did it last time. Remember, we had to buy stuff in the local things, and we used jewelry. Remember?
Right, but just
Okay, I'll just put it in your backpack.
not
It's fine.
saying you shouldn't. I'm just
Well, you are currently stood on the first floor roof of the convention center. The waters of Lake Michigan fill the streets ahead of you. Debris floats down what would otherwise be open streets, but there are no boats visible at this point. You can see what looks like a frozen food services truck floating on its side nearby. You say it's frozen food because you can see Keen's frozen food services on the side of it.
Well, we know we're going to the Black Tower. Did anyone know?
You do know you are going to the Black Tower.
Did anyone see a Black Tower?
You think she was probably referring to the Willis Tower.
Yeah, but I failed that roll, remember?
I know.
No, I'm pointing to it and saying, I reckon it's probably that tower over there, she means.
Oh, what colour is that tower up you're pointing at?
It's black and it's big.
Given that you're on an American first floor, which means you've got ground then first, you're looking over the edge, you reckon the water's between 10 and 15 feet deep?
The Americans have ground floors.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought they didn't have a ground floor.
Yeah, they don't have ground
First
floors.
floor was their ground floor.
Well, anyway, the water's 10 to 15 feet deep. It's a convention centre. The first floor of the convention centre is quite high.
Fair enough.
I'm just trying to keep you right,
Yeah, you
can't get away with anything, is basically what they're saying. No leeway here.
What are you doing to move?
Use my feet and walk. Run.
Let's
run.
You were not listening then.
No, Probably didn't hear it.
It's a lot deeper than you.
Oh, wait, it's a lot of water. Okay.
Yes, the waters of Lake Michigan, for whatever reason, have breached the banks of the lake. And as I said, you're currently on the first floor roof of one of the outbuildings of the convention center. And around you, I mean, you could go to the convention center to your left, it's a 3-story building. But anywhere out from you, you've got 10, 15 feet of lake water. Or looking north, you can see where the road would go, but it's just water.
Which one
do
are
I
you
see anything floatable around?
Well, there's that food truck I mentioned. It appears to be. It's not a 25-foot tall food truck. It appears to be gently bobbing in the water.
Huh.
But it's a truck, not a boat. So I don't want you to be under any misconceptions.
I'm not sure how we
Do I see like any
the way we
anything I can use as a pole to sort of push
Did any
each other?
use
Give us a
have
find check.
any use have any equipment that involve ropes and throwing things?
You're looking around on the roof and by the convention center. You can see there's quite a lot of like down pipes or water pipes that you could probably, with some effort, wrestle away. You reckon you could probably get a good 15, 20 foot, couple of 15, 20 foot poles out of those.
Do they have the conventions have them like banners and stuff?
They would have done if it wasn't almost 140 days into a conflict with a primitive reality,
Right, okay.
which rots things quite quickly. Admittedly, you're not in a pure zone. Things won't have changed in a day. But yeah, any banners, I'm assuming you were thinking of sails.
No, I was actually thinking of ropes.
Well, still, you can find sort of like little lengths of nylon rope, but they seem to sort of crumble to dust as you pull them. But you're able to find some decent length poles. But the van is about 35, 40 feet away still, though.
That's too far for armored people.
Anyone swim?
Yeah, you get the freaking swimming armor.
Well, not all of you need to swim. One or two of you can swim and then bring it to a point where the others won't need to swim.
Like fin and boat. Wait a minute, action? What action is there? Wait a minute, I'm not action. I think I can run across water. 15 feet of water.
You're the God-fearing one, so can't you run across water?
Yeah, can you not make the water into ice or something?
Not yet.
Oh, the ending. No, not yet.
That's day 2.
Hubris, thy name is Theo Ternalion.
I think if he got hold of the Godbox.
Unlimited power.
Well, after you draw lots, somebody or somebodies elect to
No one wants
get
go.
wet. It doesn't take long. It's only a short jump and then a short swim over. You manage to pole the truck as a it's a primitive raft. It's not made of primitive things, but it is a primitive raft. There is an unpleasant smell of rotting emanating from the vehicle, but nothing untoward. And you all clamber on board and begin to use the poles to propel yourselves awkwardly and slowly northwards towards the center of Chicago. 30 minutes later, you've gone about a mile through the thick debris and detritus. When who is actually driving?
Has anybody got the water vehicle skill? No.
I've got. I
Do
think
it
I've got.
untrained, but
You can do it untrained. Issue's going to be it's going to be off of strength, not mind, considering you are punting rather than doing any kind of other movements.
isn't it normally dexterity water vehicles?
Normally it is, yes. Both mind actually
you're
normally.
What?
I think.
Yeah, your strength. I think water vehicles is dexterity.
No, you're right. Still Dex. Then ignore me.
Can't do whatever. It's not on my list.
Anyone can do
and
water
Dex.
vehicles.
No, what I mean is with Dex, it's going to be like not that great.
Well, no, I thought it's strength. That was why.
Anyway, two of you,
Use-
whichever have done so, are the ones guiding it. And I said about half an hour. You've got about a mile,
I will.
and then
everyone else.
both of the who Abraham and who else is doing the guidance. Ryoko, you're probably the next best Dex.
We lost Ryoko.
I think the doctors would be our best eye person to see where we're going.
Possibly. Anyway, two of you,
Yeah.
Abram and one other person, just
Tower.
make a quick water vehicles test.
If we roll a rock one, is that really good? Hey, I got it. Oh, for God's sake.
As long as you don't roll a 1, that was the important.
Plus one. Not you, Theo. You ain't doing it. Get out of it. Wait, plus one.
All right, it's not that important at this point.
Thankfully,
But
I
you
knew
managed to
accelerate.
hold your footing as a
Sure.
strange current rushes through to the right of your vehicle, putting the van into a spin.
Woohoo!
And also leaving a trail of black slime in the water as a circle around the van.
Whoa, that's no good.
You managed to bring the van under control. The people that weren't driving, give me a find check.
Are we close enough to land to abandon ship? Because I feel this like abandoned ship possibility here.
I think we just get Theo off the driving.
I'm doing a good job, I'll have you know.
Even with a 14, I still didn't do it.
Woo!
No one else needs to roll. Dr. Sanders, as you weren't driving or punting or whatever else, you're absolutely certain that while you didn't see anything where the current hit, you sort of, your eye caught something in the water, and as the van was sort of spinning, you were sort of making sure you were moving in the opposite direction to keep an eye, and you basically saw a large wake of something under the water heading off ahead of you at speed.
Whoa. Looks like we're not alone.
Nothing else happens for now, though. And about 2 hours later, as dawn's light begins to rise on the horizon, you find yourselves about halfway to the tower. It's also when, in the beginning of the early morning light, off in the distance ahead, you hear occasional screams, gunfire, and the unmistakable strings of heavy metal music.
Whoa.
And that's where we'll leave it for this week.
Cool.
Alrighty. Heavy metal music.
Why is always heavy metal music? Why can't we ever have light metal music?
Cool.
Very good. Thank
Cool.
you very
I'll
much, John.
find something.
Particularly if it's important. Hang on. I need to find out if that's the actual name.
We're all going
Because believe it or not, they've even named the band
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Dokken.
Oh.
And
Dokken.
Dokken.
oh, Doc Ken.
Know the name, not familiar with the music.
Neither am I. Apparently, they sell more than 10 million albums worldwide.
I don't.
The live album Beast from the East was nominated for the inaugural Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance in 1989.
So which one of you guys is the beast from the east?
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
We're,
Now.
we're going west, you see.
Probably Ryoko.
Oh yeah.
I like that one.
It's getting super late for me.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
okay. We're done now.
I will stop the stream now then. Thank you for watching, everybody. Tune in next week.
Thank you very much.